All right, hello and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'll be showcasing our sales process in a helicopter overview and explain more on how we view sales and what our way of thinking behind our sales process is. The outcome of implementing this sales process, one of our clients has decreased their sales cycle by 44%. So that's almost a slash in half, which is, of course, bottom line, massively generating new revenue and yeah, just collecting new cash quicker, which is, of course, what we want to get to. First, I'd like to dig into who I am. If you don't already know me, my name is Sven. I'm the co-founder at Blinked, and together with my partner Wesley, we help software development companies massively increase their revenue. We do this by implementing like consistent cold outbound machines. We set up your go-to-market strategy. We collect case studies for you, ensure that your sales process is dialed in, as I'm about to dig into right now. I've made a detailed breakdown of what we do and the process that we implement in a training that's on our website at the moment. So if you want to get to know more about the exact process that we implement, feel free to have a look at it. All right, let's get into the process itself. What you see here is a usual process or the usual things that happen within a sales process, which is you get your first point of contact with a prospect. Can be via networking, can be an organic inbound lead via SEO, can be done via cold email as well, whatever your main way of generating new appointments is right now. What tends to happen is that you go into a first meeting in which you, kind of dig into what the customer want, tell more about what you guys do, who you guys are, why you guys are so great at solving their problem. You go home, you help out a meeting, whatever you're going to do, and you are going to set up a proposal, as they have probably asked for one, because you need to outline what you're going to do for them and how much you will charge, of course. What you then do is send away the proposal over email. You type them a message on should we schedule a meeting for then and then, or should we have a quick brief phone call to go over what I've sent over right now. And then you go into chasing mode. You keep chasing, follow up, follow up, follow up, and you end up in follow up land, which is the worst place to be in if you want to close a sale. You send a lot of emails, you call them, you try to get in contact with them, but what tends to happen a lot is that you just get ghosted, or someone replies like, okay, thank you for the information. Right now is not the right time. Please call me back in 6 months from now, for example. You try to close it, and again, you go into chasing mode because you offer them a discount or you offer them quicker turnaround time or quicker delivery. And right then, all hope is just lost. This is what we often see happening within software development companies, and it saddens me because there is a better way, and there's a way that yields much better results. It's much easier to much more fun to go through, and also much easier to just fulfill. I'll dig into the process that we implement for all of our clients, and remember, this is a very brief overview of what we do. I can't like put it together in one Miro board, but to give you a good overview of the process that we implement and how we look at sales, I made this fantastic drawing for you. In our eyes, no matter how complex, every sales cycle can be sort of dialed down into a 3-step process, which is you start with generating interest for what you do or what your company does. And that's the starting point of your entire process. This can be done by, like I mentioned earlier, it can be a cold call, it can be an email, LinkedIn message, inbound marketing, whatever. Very important switch from the process above. We implement dynamic sales and marketing assets. Why do we do this? To build trust and authority on autopilot. We leverage a lot of value assets. The ones above, think sales letter, mini sales deck, case study, docs, and videos. Resources like, for example, the video you are watching right now, and a video sales letter. What the end goal here is prospects need to have a minimum of 7 hours. That's a good guideline to follow to get on a level where they are ready to even buy from you. So you need 7 hours of contact time for a prospect to be able to convert. If you do 7 hours of manual, like face-to-face meetings, that's a lot of time, and you definitely won't be able to do that at scale. So we implement these documents. They educate your prospect. It gives the prospect the ability to disqualify themselves. For example, take a sales letter. Within this letter, you give a very detailed overview of who you are, what you do, who you've helped, what the exact like mechanism or framework is that you use to solve problems. what sort of problems you've solved, like what's your track record, and you cover some frequently asked questions like mentioned here. These all go into the value docs that you leverage, and you send these value docs over to your prospect in your sales and marketing activities. So when, for example, you are doing cold outreach, implement these assets to get to that 7 hour point or that 7 hour mark way quicker and without having to speak to prospects manually. So instead of booking in another meeting and not hitting that 7 hours later on because you don't want to do 7 hours of meetings, of course, you send over the sales letter. They have the ability to disqualify themselves or even qualify themselves further. So they dig deep into what you do and you warm the prospect up. You send even more resources. You send a video teaching them, like, I don't know, a common problem within your target market. And they are warming themselves up. And as soon as you hop on the first meeting, they know what you do, have the feeling that they know you because they've seen your face, they've heard your voice. They are just more, I don't know, more ready to buy, to put it that way. What's also a big benefit of implementing assets like this is, like I mentioned, prospects will be able to disqualify themselves. So instead of hopping on a meeting and going to through the entire process of trying to qualify prospects, you make sure that you give them the option to disqualify themselves up front, so you don't have to do that and save time. We probably all had it happen that you jump on a call, wasted 30-60 minutes of your time, and at the end it became clear that you definitely can't help a company or person. Within the discovery framework, this is a really important section because this is the ammunition for your sales call. Within this section, so the exposing one over here, you dig deep into what are current existing problems, how long have problems been going on, what is this problem costing you, why are you only looking at solving it now, what has changed, what has triggered you to actually start looking into a solution right now, and more importantly, is the current pain big enough to justify change? Software development is a big thing and it costs a lot of money. It's a big investment for companies. So you need to ensure that the prospect that you are talking to is actually going through so much pain that they can justify spending the money, spending the time, and going through like a change within the company. And that's all done within the exposing phase of our process. So, like I mentioned, you preempt possible objections in your assets. So, for example, if you get a lot of frequently asked questions during your sales calls, you incorporate them into your assets. So you insert them into your VSL, you insert them into your sales letter, and in that way you can already cover like a lot of the questions that you usually get. Or what you can also do is preempt them during your discovery. So, for example, you could say, listen, John, typically there are 3 reasons that prospects can't work with us. Are you okay with me sharing them? John says, yeah, sure, go ahead. And you call out like, okay, these are the 3 main reasons or the 3 objections, frequently asked questions. It could be pricing, like, John, okay, we are a premium solution. We're seen as a nuclear option, for example, but we deliver. So if you've tried everything, come to us and we'll make sure that we get your problem solved. That could be one of the things that you could implement within the discovery call framework, or you could write them out as a frequently asked question. Then we have a killer proposal framework, which is a very good outline of a very good structure of putting together a proposal. So not only inserting price, not typing away a brilliant story about your company and why you are so great, but we have a killer framework of things that must be implemented and take the prospect to see it as a story or like as an experience almost, and build up the value. Like, it's an emotional roller coaster, but it's a very good one, and it has our clients closing on average between 30 and 50%, and also for ourselves it works really well. Speak to multiple stakeholders, that's a big thing. Also, we've all had it happen. You do a great sales call and you end up at the end of the sales call with, okay, this is great, but I need to speak to blah 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 blah, John, Mary, whoever it might be. What we do is, after we get off a sales call, we record a quick video on like the essentials of the call, like what was spoken about, what is the guideline, what is the outline of what we've talked about, and what are we going to do for you guys. And you do that yourself. So you don't depend on someone else pitching your product to their stakeholders, but you record a video of what you're going to do for them and how great it was speaking to their other colleagues, and then send it over to them. So this enables you to speak to those stakeholders without actually seeing them, but they see you, they hear your voice, they feel your energy, and yeah, you can take them through the experience of what you will be doing for them. From then on, if this is done, and once you get to this phase, you know that a very high percentage of the people you talk to actually go through this because you've done your due diligence on the exposing part and actually qualifying or disqualifying someone. What we do, we're not a fan of doing hard closing, fancy sales tactics, or whatever comes to mind. We're not in Wolf of Wall Street. We are going to agree on appropriate next steps and go for a logical close, which in this phase, it's just you helping your prospect make the right decision. And if that right decision is that it's not the right moment right now, or that they might be off with doing it might be better off with doing it in house, then that's okay as well. What tends to happen is that if you push someone away, or if you're actively searching for the no, is that someone you build trust with someone. If they have the feeling that you keep on trying to sell them and sell them and sell them, they kind of get the vibe of, okay, is this the right thing for me? Whilst if you actively tell them, okay, I think you might be better off considering this option because, I don't know, this is not the right way to do, or this is not the right way to go, then that builds a lot of trust because you're not there to take their money. But if you're in this phase with your prospect, there's a big chance of them closing because you have done your work with pushing them away earlier on, and we just help them make the right decision. You outline a plan that's so detailed and that's so well put together that it's just dumb for them to say no, essentially, to put it that way. We've come to the end, to the logical close phase, which is, like I mentioned, it's just make the right decision together, actively look for, are we the right partner, and can we take you to the end goal that you have. So that's a brief and sort of helicopter overview of what our process looks like. Of course, this goes very in depth when you actually work this out and when we do this for our clients. But again, this process has been implemented many times over many different industries, and it keeps on proving itself. So we keep on using this and leveraging this process, as it's great. It enables you to break free of like 60 to 80% of the sales process, as you have multiple assets that educate your prospects, all the things I've went through. So it frees up your time, it yields better results. So to conclude, it's a great process from our end. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. If you have any questions, or if you would like to know how we can implement this for you, or if you want advice or a consultation on what this will look like for your company, feel free to schedule a meeting on our website. Like I said, go through the training if you'd like to, and I look forward to seeing you next video.